Welcome back to another edition of the Sports Den. I'm Daniel, as always coming to you from an undisclosed location, where today I'm talking about the surge of black quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm bringing up this topic given what's happened to Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, and Eli Manning. All three of these guys over the past 2 days have been lost to injury or lost their starting gigs. Ben Roethlisberger injured his elbow and is out for the season. Drew Brees tore a ligament in his thumb and will miss 6 weeks. And just today, Eli Manning from the New York Giants is being benched in favor of Daniel Jones. Now, what's the connection between the black quarterbacks and these three? It's simple. You have one group with Manning, Brees, and Roethlisberger, traditional pocket passers who are in the tail end of their careers, and this new crop of black quarterbacks who are dual threats, who essentially are redefining the position, who are not only the present of the game, but the future of the NFL. Now, right behind me is a list of the current crop of quarterbacks. So we have Patrick Mahomes, Jacoby Brissett, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, Teddy Bridgewater, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, and Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins, of these 11 quarterbacks, is a rookie backup, but there's only a matter of time before he gets a starting gig in Washington. Haskins right now is backing up Case Keenum, but he's going to get his shot because the guy is talented and has all the skills just like the rest of these quarterbacks on the list. Now, like I mentioned a moment ago, we're seeing a changing of the guard. Because one thing the majority of these quarterbacks on this list have in common, they've had success. And they can play the position. And they're redefining the position and not conforming to the standards by which a lot of teams felt like quarterbacks should play. Patrick Mahomes took the NFL by storm last year. The man had 50 touchdowns. He got the Kansas City Chiefs on the doorstep of the Super Bowl. If it had not been for a bogus call in the AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots, the Chiefs would have made the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes is a league MVP and has made the Pro Bowl. And he's off to a fantastic start this year. Lamar Jackson of the Baltimore Ravens is 9-1 as a starter if you date back to last year. Lamar Jackson took over midseason and got the Ravens to the playoffs. And has the Ravens right now this year off to a 2-0 start. Kyler Murray is the #1 overall pick for the Arizona Cardinals. And while Kyler Murray is not on a good team, this young man already has passed for over 300 yards his first 2 games, including a game last week against Lamar Jackson. Dak Prescott is playing for a contract and has the Cowboys rolling right now. Dak Prescott is a former Offensive Rookie of the Year, has appeared in 3 playoff games, and has won several NFC East Division titles. Russell Wilson is a Super Bowl winning quarterback and also a Pro Bowler, and has made the playoffs several times in his career. Russell Wilson made 2 Super Bowl appearances and just had 2 rings. But Russell Wilson had one of the rings taken away from him by his own head coach, Pete Carroll. If you guys recall, Pete Carroll thought it would be a great idea on the 1-yard line to not give the ball to Marshawn Lynch and try to pass the ball, which got picked off, and the Seahawks went on to lose that Super Bowl. Deshaun Watson from the Houston Texans made the Pro Bowl and also made the playoffs. Deshaun Watson has been the Houston Texans' best quarterback ever. The only thing the Texans need to do is get this man an offensive line. Otherwise, Deshaun Watson will suffer the same fate as Andrew Luck, having his career end too soon due to injuries because he never had protection. All of these guys on this list behind me have proven that they can play the position because they've had success and brought their teams to relevancy. And while these guys are the present of the NFL, they're also the future. And they're also redefining the position. They are quarterbacks who just happen to be good athletes and not the other way around. I can recall growing up during the age of Dan Marino, Joe Montana, and John Elway, who were all excellent quarterbacks. There only being 3 quarterbacks I can recall during that time: Randall Cunningham, Warren Moon, and Rodney Peete. When you fast forward to the late 90s and early 2000s, it was Cordell Stewart, Steve McNair, Aaron Brooks, Jeff Blake, both of whom who played for my New Orleans Saints. And then it was Michael Vick, Dante Culpepper. So my point is there were a few black quarterbacks sprinkled in here and there when you had a team that was willing to give them a fair shake. But to see 11 quarterbacks currently in the NFL right now, there should be a 12th if you factor in Colin Kaepernick. Had he not been whiteballed by NFL for the stance he took, Colin Kaepernick belongs on this list too. But hopefully he gets another opportunity soon, because there are 5 teams whose quarterbacks are injured and are looking for quarterbacks. And Colin Kaepernick, given what he's done in his career, if we factor in his 2 NFC Championship appearances and his 1 Super Bowl appearance, and also his time as a Pro Bowler in the NFL, this man has proven he's a winner as well. For the longest, there was this notion, this stereotype that black men couldn't play the position of quarterback in the NFL because they lacked the requisite skills as a leader, didn't have the mental capacity to understand a playbook, break down concepts, be an extension of the coach on the field. They were just athletes masquerading as quarterbacks. But as these guys on this list behind me are proving, they're quarterbacks who just happen to have athleticism and can beat you from the pocket and who have strong arms. And these guys are going to carry the NFL into the future. And as we see the changing of the guard from the great quarterbacks like Manning, Breeze, Roethlisberger, and Brady, you have the Wilsons, the Prescotts, the Mahomes, the Murrays, the Jacksons, who have star power and will carry this league going forward. And they will also open doors for the next crop of black quarterbacks coming into the league. Because as we all know, the NFL is a copycat league, and if they see one team having success with a dual threat black quarterback in this instance, then more teams will follow suit and give them opportunities. And the numbers will just continue to grow. Now, while I think all these guys on this list behind me are going to have success, I want to hear from you out there. Of this crop of quarterbacks in the league right now behind me on this list, which one do you think wins the Super Bowl first and will have the most successful career? Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. We'll do it next time, and I'm out.